The Retirement Plan starring Nick Cage is out and it's in theaters now. Did you hear about it? Did you know that it existed? Neither did I, but here we are. And my big question is, why didn't anyone know this film was being released? Hey, everyone. Great to see you. And thanks for being here. Be sure to hit subscribe for more reviews featuring this fall's new films. So there's something important going on with the Retirement Plan, and it's nothing to do with the film, as in nothing. Not even the crickets showed up in the theater to watch the film with me. Why? Because it wasn't worth the ticket price. You know, I love Nicolas Cage and Ron Perlman, who both star in this film, and they do a good job. However, the film itself was, I don't know, a C, maybe a C minus on the grading scale. From the writing to the directing to the production value to the marketing, this film really should never have seen the inside of a theater. There's something about the film that just, I don't know, makes me feel like it was created 10 years ago, according to older standards that applied to made for TV films. It would have been great, released for streaming or Lifetime, AMC, I don't know, one of those direct to viewer services. And I hate to say it, that I have higher expectations for a theater release, but I do. And when I spend $15 on a ticket, in addition to the gas to get to the theater and the soda or the popcorn or whatever else, you know, that adds up quick. That's like $30 or more just for a single person. And you know what? When I'm spending that kind of money, I expect to hit a minimum standard of quality. And as much as I spend on that, it's more, you know, it's more in some cases than I spend for a whole month of streaming for some platforms, even multiple platforms. So yeah, when you have a star like Nick Cage, you want to go for the big ticket, but then you need to hit the production quality test and then market the film accordingly. You know, I had a time to kill. I'd already seen all of the new releases in the theater. And, you know, I watch for new films and I look for what's coming out. I had to literally Google this film to find out what it was about. And because it had Nick Cage in it, I decided to give it a try. Now, I am not the typical moviegoer, granted. Most people are going to skip this film and go see A Haunting in Venice or one of the other big releases that they might have missed. And honestly, that's exactly what they should do. It's the best thing for them if they're trying to make the most of their movie-going experience and to like make their money stretch farther. The Retirement Plan just isn't it. It isn't for the theater. I don't like being overly critical of films like this because I know a lot of good people put their blood, sweat, and tears into this film. You know, especially since there are also some great moments in the film. However, those moments were buried by some poor writing and poor directing choices. Nicolas Cage is one of the most talented actors in Hollywood, and there were at least 3 moments in the film where I was literally startled by his bad acting. I was actively aware of his character's bad reactions. Like it was out of character, some of the things he did or said. And I couldn't help but wonder, why did he do that? Once or twice, I could have written it off. But 3 times, just started feeling like the director was making some choices here that didn't feel natural. I don't know. All right, let me rewind. So the Retirement Plan is about an ex-government assassin who's living on a beach now, whose daughter and granddaughter get in trouble with a bunch of criminals. And so he steps in to save their lives. On the surface, it's a great concept. It sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds like a kind of a heartwarming, could be funny movie. And with Nick Cage on the ticket, I figured it has to be decent, right? Even better, Ron Perlman was there, and he is a dependable character actor, especially when he's in one of those bad guy roles. And in fact, Perlman was one of the saving graces of this film. He had several moments that made me laugh out loud in the film. And the connection that he had with Sarah, the granddaughter of Nicolas Cage's character, was tangible. The other saving grace in the film was actually Sarah. She was compelling and smart and believable in her role. And I hope we see more of her. She's a great up and coming talent. The scenes with Sarah were some of the best. And again, when she was on screen with Ron Perlman, the film kind of went to the next level. However, it felt like the film went for a campy ex-assassin gets his life back on track, but it landed too far into the campy territory, eroding any of that A-level acting within the film. And then the campiness wasn't really consistent. So it wasn't like a campy movie. It was like inconsistently campy, which is just, I don't know. It's just, it felt inconsistent throughout the film. And when I was leaving the theater, I kept thinking that the film felt like the studio's desperate attempt for a September release. It also felt like this movie was a couple of years old and had been shelved because it didn't turn out as envisioned, only to be dusted off and released now by Darius Films because they needed an influx of cash. So, after I got home, I actually looked up the film, and it was produced a few years ago and not released. So clearly the studio knew the film had some issues, but decided to release it anyway now, but without any marketing, because they didn't believe in it and they didn't want to put any more money into it. I can imagine that maybe it was the actor contracts or some of the other contracts that required the studio to do a theatrical release before it hit streaming. And the studio is just trying to hit that obligation with as little cost as possible to them before they recoup their costs. But, that's a real shame. It was a real disappointment. And I feel like the studio did everyone involved a disservice by choosing to give it a theatrical release instead of making the best of the situation and cutting a deal with a streamer, I don't know, Max, Netflix, Prime, someone. All right, I'm just going to stop there because there are some good moments in the film. And I think it's enjoyable enough. And when it hits streaming, it will be a great couch movie. So like on a stormy Saturday afternoon, great film to sit down, get some snacks, enjoy it at home. And I think that really is the level of this movie. And I think you will enjoy it in the privacy of your home when you're not spending $30 or $15 to just see this one thing. All right. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate your watching. And even though I feel like a negative Nelly, I felt like I really had to be honest about this film. I almost didn't do the review, but you know what? I spent like $30. And so I felt like I just really needed to put this out there so that the studios see that viewers just aren't going to put up with that. They have to do a better job. They just have to do a better job. All right, everybody, enough of my grandstanding, enough of my soapboxing. Please do subscribe and stay tuned for new reviews because there are some great looking new releases coming out. But for now, thank you again, and I will see you again later. Bye.